Hi, it's Anders here. Welcome back, and welcome back to a galaxy that's nearly on fire. So the Awakened Empire over here. Let's click on one of those things. So the Awakened Ascendancy is gone down here, and probably because of the battle where I took out quite a lot of his fleet, has basically given the Zeltec a bit of a bloody nose and smashed in to their front line, pushing them all the way back. Now we've got the Star Brood down here, so I'm wondering how far round the Awakening Ascendancy is actually going to go down here, because this could be potentially useful, or do we need to smash into them? Don't know. I'm thinking once we finish the battle over here with the Directorate, that we'll come round this way. Take the Ascendancy out, because they're one of the biggest threats in the galaxy at the moment, and see where we go from there. It'll be a lot of technology to be able to get. Also, whilst I'm still waiting for Warp Drive 3 to be able to make some sensible moves across the galaxy, because wormhole tech is quite limiting, I've actually gone into the Federation and started to build some Federation ships, as you can see here. Got the funds, just don't have the ships. So in the ship designer for the Federation, let's bring that back. In the Federation ship designer, I've left this as auto, so the initial Corvette is as it was by default. I've created this one. What does that mean? So the Cell-Fed Corvette, which is the name of our Federation, the Cell-Fed. That's the configuration there. Very similar, except for the fact that I've actually given it the precognitive interface. The default that we've got for the destroyer, oh, by the way, I should actually make some more Corvettes so that they do a few different things actually. I just haven't got around to that yet. The initial destroyer done by default is actually using point defense. Remember that Federation technology, when you build Federation ships, it uses the best of the best that any one person or any one race in the Federation has actually got. So it's a merge of all the technologies. So this is actually using quite a lot of what I've got, but obviously the Hathgum have got Hyperdrive 3. So that's really useful actually. I'm only just doing jump drive now. So I've mixed this up with a little bit of a gunboat technology as well. So I can either do the point defense and a pure gunboat with medium disruptors, phase disruptors, and the best X-ray lasers that I can use. Thrown in there some neutronium armor and the second level of the afterburners, so that it will actually accelerate the front line to the enemy, and with any luck actually take down their shields, because this like plus 200 shield damage. So with the torpedoes coming up behind from any bigger ships, hopefully get those shields down and let the torpedoes actually do some real armor damage. Then on to the cruisers. So cruisers holding back range 100 and range 70. We've got the kinetic artillery with a lot of armor, deflectors, power, and 2 lots of shield capacitors. Then we've got Torps once again holding back relatively long range, but because this range is 60, I know it's not that long a range. I've put the afterburner in there so it can actually accelerate forward and try and make that damage as the shields come down. But these are going to do quite a lot of damage there, and there's 3 lots of them with some lasers to back them up. Not the top range lasers, admittedly, but actually, why haven't I? Oh yes, it is the top range. It's the other one that's not using the top range, and some small disruptors on there as well. What else have we got here? Oh, we've got the cruiser Bs, so just something that's just going to do quite a lot of damage. So there's 5.89 there, there's 5.7 there, and there's some whirlwind. I thought there was a swarm there for a minute. There's some whirlwind missiles. Once again, if we look at the range here, range 50, range 60, range 50, this needs to get in close before it can start doing any real damage. We've got the sensor there at 50 as well. So we've got the afterburns on there so it can move forward with the front line, actually get within range quickly and actually start to make a difference. I love these graphic designs for the different types of ships. The only thing is, why is all the weapon loadouts only on the top, eh? There's something for the developers. Maybe we should have weapons below as well, because in space these could actually rotate on a roll. So on the horizontal, they could rotate the horizontal and flip over, so they could go into battle spinning. Internal gravity would stop everybody being sick, but they could actually rotate. So if you lost all your weapons on one side, you could just flip over and have a full barrage the other side. So just a thought, we need to do a bit more on the graphic design. Maybe there'll be some mods come out that will have some more realistic craft actually. What else we got? We've got this one as well. What's this? This one might... No, it's not an auto one. Not sure where this one came from. Not sure I built this one, but it's using the same theory. It's got 50 and 60. Wants to get into range pretty quickly. And it's got 2 afterburners to support that. I think it could probably use afterburners 2 there, but it hasn't got any shield capacitor there. So I don't know where this one's come from actually. Another long-range gunship. A bit like the artillery cruiser. You really want a lot of these, I would say. You want to stay out of the range of the enemy's weapons, and then just put some point defense down with your cruisers. And then we've got a battleship. Now I haven't done any work on the battleships here, but this is quite close range. So you've got your range 40, 70, 30, no, 170 as well, medium range 50. So this is an all-out gunboat. Personally, I wouldn't have this for the Federation. I haven't built any Federation battleships at this moment in time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this right here and now. What we absolutely do want, I would say, is long range. So let's do it like this, and having some bomber wings in there can only be a good thing. Let's have, we've got the Larticle Pants, which is damage 20, and we've got the Mega Cannon, accuracy 90%, 22.47, and the Particle Lance, which is accuracy 85 and 20.2. So I'm going to load this one up with the Particle Lance. We're going to have some point defense in this as well. Let's put some level 3s in there. Oh, what happened there? And now we're going to put some phase disruptors in there. 90%, plasmas 85, 90. Let's put some gamma lasers in there. And then on the large at the back here. No, that's 60. That what range is that? That's 100. That's 30. So we're just going to be taking out missiles with that, with the point defense. Large 87. We've got a range of 90, so let's put the Marauders on the back there. Let's get the intelligent computer up. So we've got 90, we've got 100. Don't worry about the rest of it. They've got range for as far as they need to go. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's make sure we've got this. This is going to stay at the back quite a lot. And then 2 lots of shield capacitors. There we go. Oh, how about that? Right, power's spot on the money at 0. Mind you, saying that, if we upgrade this with the 2nd level lance, a tachyon lance, later on, then that could be quite interesting. As in, it's going to need a lot more power. Zelford BS Battleship. I don't want to call it bull anything, so Battleship or Battle Zelfred Galactica. That would be one, wouldn't it? Right, so we've just saved that. Right, we can start thinking about building some battleships now. Oh, that's why. Delete. Oh, what did that? I don't like the way that the Federation ship design. There needs to be a button up here somewhere so you can flip between whether you're in Federation mode. Done it again. Yeah, there needs to be a button so you can get into Federation mode ship design and your own ship design much easier. Yeah, that's a much better design. I don't know what that one's all about. I'm going to delete that. And it's flipped me back. Right, stop doing that. This is because I'm in a windowed version of the game, unfortunately. So, quick ship design here. We've got the neutronium armor coming on. We've got level 2 afterburners, and we've got the precognitive interface. We're still on wormhole tech only. I think we're actually developing jump drive now. No, not quite. Oh, we're 10 months away from a tachyon lance. Ooh, so we're going to need that. 24, 85% accuracy. It is better. It does do more damage. Back into ship design. So, we're up to level 5 Gauss weapons. Now, keep in mind, I know Gauss weapons aren't the most accurate thing, 76% accuracy, but I tried to play this game in the beginning with keeping with the essence of the race. So the Zel Azan were very much projectile weapons orientated. So I tried to keep their technology of their ship designs and that just orientated to being projectile weapons and kinetic energy and the like, and not go down the energy route. So here's a little bit of a tip for the developers. Why can't we keep the racial tech trees in such a way that we can actually expand that out? Because it hasn't really worked, and I've been forced to go down an energy route just to be able to expand this race's capabilities. So, you know, I would expect to see much later, if ever, that we would use energy weapons or something else. I mean, going out, you know, a bit like we do with the crystalline entities and that, going out and actually studying other races and understanding their tech and sharing tech once you get into a federation, then, you know, maybe fair enough, you know, the tech trees can expand. But in the very early part of the game, as like those of you who've been following this series would know, I found it a real problem with regards to actually be able to stay just in the physical projectile weapon route. So I've tried to honour that, even though they're not very good. I've tried to honour that by actually keeping with the Gauss weapons and that as part of the design, but I still need the power and the efficiency of the laser weapons, unfortunately, as well. And torpedoes are a form of physical weapon, aren't they? You know, you launch them and they have rockets on them, a bit like projectile weapons. Okay, so the destroyer once again, there we go, there's the Gauss. I don't know if I can I get this? Why can't that go to there? So let's just change this around a little bit. There we go, plus 20. And could probably put a second one of them on. And how close do you need to get? You've got quite a long range there. There we go, quick update on that one. Right, what we got? So here we go, so we've got the range 45, range 40, so that needs to get in close. So we've got the afterburners on to help get that in close, and they do 33% shield damage and 100% shield damage from the energy siphons. So we want these to move up really fast and actually like try and take down the enemy shields. So we actually want a lot of these corvettes, so there's lots of targets to aim at. We've then got these at range 30, so we've got the afterburners on there. So the idea is that with the coil guns going in, trying to take the shields down, we can then start hammering at the armor, yeah, and actually doing some real damage. So these two corvettes are like the annoying flies on a summer's day. And then further back at range 60, without the afterburners, we've got another corvette that its sole purpose is at range 60 just to be a torpedo boat. You know, we want you to do the maximum amount of damage as soon as you're in range, and just send in all those extra torpedoes to start blatting those holes. But they're going to be a little bit slower getting into range, but that should be after the coil gun and the interceptor have actually got those shields more or less down, if not completely down. Then with the destroyers, you can see we've got range 60, range 30, range 50. So this particular destroyer with the afterburner, am I going to be able to change that one? Probably not. So this has only got a level 1 afterburner on it. Whole idea here is it's got armor, it's got shields, it can't replenish its shields, but this is just going to get in there. This is just going to follow up behind the corvettes and actually just try and do some damage to that ship. It's got the potential to start doing damage from 60, so it's not a front line runner. It's going to be behind the front line, but it is going to start whacking a punch in there with regards to the damage it's doing. You then got the gunship. So the gunship, once again, is going to be going in with the front lines. It's going to be going in with the corvettes, and it's going to be packing a bit of a punch. It's very similar to the coil gun corvette. It's going to be there, it's going to mix it up, it's going to be one of those flies in the sky. The hind E, so you know, this is just to pack a punch. So range 90 and range 50 on the lasers. Lasers is more of a backup solution. It's got some shields, so if it takes a hit it's going to replenish, but its main purpose is to fire those missiles. There's no afterburn on this. It's going to get in range, it's going to launch the torpedoes, and these torpedoes are going to start hitting the enemy, start damaging their shields, put a lot more noise and smaller flies in the sky that might keep some of the attention off the corvettes. So we then got point defense. I think this speaks for itself. We need something that's going to protect the fleet. So something that's going to last. So it's got shields, it's got a shield replenisher, it's got armor, it's got medium armor, it's got point defense, it's got 3 lots of point defense, mixture of level 3 and level 2, just purely because of the power requirements, and it's got some lasers as well. Artillery. So the artillery is range 85. Okay, accuracy is only 67%, but this is just on a 2-hour routes. The Zell, Azan, they like their projectile weapons, so you know they trust them, they believe them, and they believe that the inaccuracy is just the spirit of their own being not being good enough to actually hit the targets. They strive to be better, so they really like these weapons. Bit of role playing there. Once again, because of the range, these are sitting at the back, no afterburners to move them forward. Moving into the cruisers, gunships. Right, gunships. Gunships are front of the line. We've got the afterburners in there, we've got some shield replenishment, lots of armor, lots of shield protection. And then we've got range 60 and 50 and 50 there. So from range 60, that's going to start hitting those shields. So you know this cruiser is going to start hitting the shields, maybe even before the corvettes do, and then it's going to start peppering those shields with lasers and with the whirlwind missiles. So lots of little stuff here, all being compound to make a lot of difference in the end game. Back to our roots again, we've got the coal guns. Oh, there's a lot of coal guns here. Look, range 65, so we've got the afterburners to move them up quickly. Range 65, range 65. We're going to be peppering anything. So if there's a big fleet there, we may not hit the thing that we're actually aiming at. We might hit the thing to the left or the right, above or below. But we'll probably hit something. Then the custom design. So this ship, it's got the missiles, got large missiles to actually do some long range damage, but it still needs to get in pretty close with regards to everything else. Mind you that, you know, peppering the shields at 80, range 80, and then getting in range with the lasers and the energy siphons. This is a mid to long range cruiser that's just going to make a lot of noise and be a big annoyance to the enemy fleet. Then the torpedo boat. No two ways about this. Shields, armor, do the replenishment on the shields as well. It's not going to have any afterburner. Mind you, these are only range 60, range 30, range 50. Maybe we do want to put an afterburner on this, maybe just an afterburner 1, just to, I'll move it up quicker, there we go. So get the torpedo boat in range really quickly. I had that as a miss, and then it's got some lasers there to just be able to fire up the little spaceships coming at it, the little fighters and like, so a bit like Star Wars and the Death Star in a way. So there's the torpedo cruiser. We really need to get that in range pretty quickly so that start making a difference. And that's the cruisers. And then battleships, 3 battleships, artillery. So we've got the mega cannon there, range 120. We want a lot. We want a lot of these battleships. We don't have 30 odd battleships with at least half of them doing this. There's something wrong. Or maybe what we want is like 30 battleships with 10 of these, 10 of the like tachyon lancers, and then 10 carriers with all the fighter craft. We're backing that up with range 100 with the kinetic artillery, followed up by range 70 with the marauder missiles, and range 80 with the phase disruptors to start hammering those shields. But you know, these are going to be the first things into the fighting arena. these battleships are going to be in range almost from day one. As soon as they get into the system, almost straight away going to be firing. The carriers, so carriers, oh yeah, carriers. So the carriers have just got the advanced bomber wing, and there might be an instance whereby we might be able to get 2. Maybe I need to rename this and have a proper carrier. But the idea here is that we've got range 100, we've got the particle lance, we're going to upgrade that with the tachyon lance later on. We've got range 70 marauder missiles, range 100, the artillery, range 60. We've got the disruptors, and then we've got a group of fighters on here. And then these are almost the same. And then the broadside. The broadside is just all particle lance. The kinetic energy is at range 100, range 40 as well as it gets in a bit closer, and range 60. So it's got long to medium range. It's got shield capacitors. It hasn't got a huge amount of armor, but even if I take that off, there is no medium down here. So it absolutely does need all this power. Just save that. Okay, let's go back to the carrier. I think the carrier needs to be redone. I think the carrier needs more fighters actually. So let's change this to be this design. Let's put some point defense on this as well. And then small, let's just put the best lasers on that we can. And then we've got 80 there, that's cool. Let's see how now this is going to be potentially long range, isn't it? Maybe we should change these with missiles. Don't know. Range 40. We want you to keep out the back there, don't we? So we could just lower you rather than load up more power onto this. We've got 2 shield capacitors, we might as well have more large advanced shields in there. There we go. That brings a few more fighters to the fold as far as a carrier ship is concerned. That looks better. So we've got the broadside, the carrier, and then Bob. So, can Bob go to a 2, or is that too much for him? No, that's too much for him. So we're trying to get, I know it makes all these ships more expensive. I haven't done anything on the defense platforms for a while. I know it makes everything a little bit more expensive, but hey there is more than enough to go around. So this one's an interesting one. There's nothing else that can go on here ideally, so, and the power's quite good the way it is. So the idea of this, which could be upgraded, the idea of this one is this is quite a lot of damage at 14.2. This is going to do the subspace snare, so anybody jumps into system is just going to get pulled in right round the actual space station. And the idea is that the auto cannons, which are a very high fire rate, are actually going to do a massive damage right there and then straight away. So we now need to sort out the power situation. Don't have a choice in that. So let's just have a look at this for a moment. Let's see if we can put... No, we can't. We're gonna have to... Let's see here then. Let's have 4 shield capacitors in till we get something else. And then let's have in the armor, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then let's just mix that up with 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've still got a load. So we can have another shield in there. There we go, 45, that's pretty good. There we go. So we'll have to uprate that one. Snare class. There we go. So we've got mines, we've got snares, and then we've got the fortress as well, where we've got fighter bays. We've got some shields. Let's take some of these out here. We've got snare and we've got mines. Let's just change this for water cannon 2. The large missiles are probably about right. Got more than enough there. Let's take that out. Got neutronium armor. Let's put 2 of them in. 2 of them in. There we go. So we can upgrade our fortresses as well as we go along. So there we go. Little half-an-hour video. I've just, as I said, I've been scoping out the Federation to try and build a Federation fleet, so that we've got something that can work a little more dynamically. If we've got the option to actually get that up to a 50k fleet, then we've got 2 50k fleets to start taking on the bigger aspects of the galaxy. I've just invited these guys, the Galactic Combine, the Belmascosa Galactic Combine, into the Federation. I don't really want to fight them, and they've got these guys as well. In the next video, we're actually going to start a war here as well. I'm just going to upgrade the fleet like that and get them to the next level. I'll wait until we can assign a leader here. I'm completely out of leaders, and this guy's not getting any experience, but then he's just an arrogant old fart, let's say. He doesn't want to learn anymore. He knows everything there is to know. And I'll try and get the Federation fleet upgrade as well. At the moment, I've just tagged them onto the first fleet so that they'll come into battle and fight alongside. Well, actually slightly behind the way it works out. And you can see here the fleet composition: 75 corvettes, 92 destroyers, 49 cruisers and 15 battleships. Really would like to get the battleships up. I've got more than enough headroom. I think I'm going to get those carriers uprated and get a few more carriers, and got the Tachyon Lance, the ultimate weapon, to upgrade the particle lance with as soon as that becomes available in 10 months. That's going to be whilst we're actually fighting, so it's not going to be in the final war with the Directorate. So I'm really hoping I can vassalize them in the next episode. Anyway, thanks for watching. Click that like button, please subscribe, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.